Why did I just flex on you guys? Because the actual meta in Sparking Zero is not after Image Strike. It's not giant characters. It's not even ulti spamming with instant sparking. The real meta in Sparking Zero is being jacked, stacked, and juicy. Now, it might sound like a joke, but I'm being for real. Like, the team I'm using right now is Bojack, who is jacked. Raccoon, who is jacked. He actually does a side chest in his Ki move, which is hilarious. Spopovich, who is jacked, he actually does a lat spread, which if you don't know is a bodybuilding pose as his perception move, which is hilarious. I am using Buff Roshi. That's hilarious. And Nappa. Nappa is absolutely jacked, stacked, and succulent. Now, why are these characters so good and why are they the actual meta and nobody knows about it is because one, Bojack could transform and gain a half a health bar. You could use anyone in place of Bojack, honestly. Like, Android 13 is good, Broly is good, and Raccoon and Nappa having 3.5 health bars. Technically 4.5 health bars, but I just like to use the vernacular everyone uses. And yeah, a 3 DP character has no business having 4.5 health bars. That is too much. And they have the best defense stat in the game, which is insane. Raccoon could buff his defense even more with False Courage. And Buff Roshi could buff his defense even more with False Courage. And Spopovich also has a defense buff. So this is the tankiest team ever. And on top of that, if they have to do a lot of damage to you before you could switch out. And then it's the switching mechanic, all the health you have, that really makes this team extremely meta. And you guys follow my videos and, you know, I want to shake up the meta. I want to see a lot more people using this stupid team. Force Bandai to actually make changes. You gotta change the mechanics. You can't just extend the time from 360 seconds to 600 seconds. You have to change how the health regen works. You have to change how the switching works. You can't give Raccoon and Nappa 4.5 health bars. That's insane. But with that being said, Bandai should hire me to be their quality control team because it seems a lot of people really don't have a deep understanding of the game and thus they don't have a deep understanding of the metas and the issues. Like, they think instant sparking is an issue. They think after image strike is an issue when really those issues are a result of other issues such as the switch mechanic, such as the time limit in DP battle. I don't think instant sparking is an issue because instant sparking is the solution to these more stalling teams. Being able to dish out nearly 30k damage renders stalling useless. But yeah, I use this team and I'm able to beat people out with it, even though it's kind of silly and dumb. But of course, you do need skill. You can't just use this team and then expect to win. You actually have to do damage. You actually have to know how to survive. So if you're faced up against a good player who knows how to deal with it, you deal with it by throwing lots of hands and throwing lots of ultis, and that's how you do it. But I also go over what they really need to nerf throughout the analysis, and I also just... It's more, this video is a combination of a character spotlight for Bojack and talking about how crazy the meta is and how people really don't understand the meta. Anyway, if you learned something, like and subscribe. Have a good day, you guys. Okay, so here I am doing a character spotlight with Bojack. I've done character spotlights, but I'm going to start making a lot more character spotlights. The first thing you might notice is that he spawns in with 1 key bar, which is really not good. The reason why that's not good is most of the characters spawn in with 2 key bars, and there are some that spawn in with a full key bar, just like Majin Vegeta. I think Android 19 spawns in with 4 key bars. So the less key bars you spawn in with, the more likely you're going to lose the first engagement and lose momentum very early on, and you do not want that. So I do not recommend putting Bojack on point, meaning I do not recommend him being your first character. He's a great second character to switch into, right? Because you could just switch into Bojack in the middle of an engagement and not be forced to be put in a vanish ward right away. You also might notice I put a controller overlay on my recording here. First thing you might notice is that I play with a D-pad. I play with a D-pad because I do not like using the joystick. In this game, super countering, doing these 2 inputs at the same time is super important. It's kind of odd doing it with the joystick, so that's why I use the D-pad. People say keyboard and mouse is advantageous because it's just clicking 2 buttons. Well, now if you use a D-pad, you're just clicking 2 buttons. Another reason is because let's say I hit them with this combo, right? Or you get hit with this combo. A lot of people don't know how to recover from that. That's a hard knockdown. The way to recover from it is just down and up, down and up, down and up. Alright, so it's much easier to do down and up with a D-pad than it is with a joystick. It's a little awkward for me. If you could do it, then good on you. But that's how you recover from hard knockdowns. Those are just general tips for you guys. Now, the second thing you might notice about Bojack is he has a 2 key bar super. But his 2 key bar super is not that good. The further away you are from them, the more accurate it becomes, or when you're point blank close to them, which Bojack is a point blank type of character. You have to stuff their face with Bojack, right? Bojack is not good at playing the distance game. You have to be up close to them. But you could see when I'm close to them, half of the attacks miss, and it only does 3,000 damage. I'd rather just hit them with a regular combo and do nearly 3,000 damage and gain ki off of that instead of losing ki and only dealing the same amount of damage. Not to mention the super is very easy to vanish, extremely easy to vanish. So that's why in these gameplays I rarely ever use the supers. I rarely use supers in general. I think he has full power energy ball. Very stock move, but terrible super again. 3 key bars for only 6.7k damage. That's not good. But on the bright side, Bojack is not a key spamming type of character. Well, he could be, but his character archetype is to throw hands, and maybe in sparking he could spam some ki blasts. With that being said, let's check out his ki blasts, and this is exactly why he is not a long distance type of character. So let me show you another character that is an example, right? Zarbon is not the best long distance character either, but then look at his ki blast. It goes at a normal rate. A charged ki blast is probably one of the most important tools to closing distance. The reason being is you throw this out, you hit that. I did it wrong. You throw this out, you hit them, and then you hit them with the zebra stash, and it connects. Right, and you can't deflect charged ki blasts if you're moving. So if they're moving, you see them moving, throw this out, and you'll open them up very easily. A lot of people do raw zebra stashes, right? What they'll do is they'll do this and then start attacking and then immediately get perception. And then they complain, oh, this guy's just holding perception. Well, the way to get over it is you gotta use charged ki blast at a distance, right? You gotta catch them when they're moving so they can't deflect it. Throw this out, boom, easy open up. Now let's go back to Bojack and explain why it's important to notice this. Look at his ki blast. See, show you guys. Yeah, you see how I missed there? And then I could have got opened up there. Oh, I'm ki sick. Okay, let me show you guys. You see how I missed? Yeah, it's really not good for closing the distance. And not only is it inaccurate 50% of the time, there is a large cooldown time. Like I can't really. Yeah, it takes a long time for me to recover from the animation. So Bojack is not a good distance character. You have to be close in his face. Now you might think, oh, his charged ki blast is so bad. It's really not. If you're up close to him, you could do this. Look at his health bar. Look at it melt away. It does so much damage. It's quite comical how much damage the charged ki blast does, because it shoots like 3 of them. Right? If all 3 hit, it's a lot of damage. If you're point blank, if you're in sparking mode, how I like to set up sparking with these very in-your-face characters, very you have to engage type of characters. I like to do this. While they're stunned, I go, and then that's when you could use the ki blast cheese. Okay, so now we know Bojack is more of an in-your-face character. Let's talk about his skills. So I showed you earlier he has full power. He also has Psycho Barrier, which is a good way to break their combo in case you need it. You can't get a super counter off. It also prevents ultimates, right? Let's say you're getting ki blast spammed by Broly, and you could see and you know when he's going to use his ultimate. If you throw this out, it will block the ultimate. That is one of the ways to counter it. I think Android Barrier does it. Tapion's Barrier does it, and Tapion's Barrier is really good because it costs only 2 skill points. But a regular explosive wave doesn't protect you from ultimates, but this will, I believe, future Gohan's Barrier does, and like I said, Android Barrier does as well. So this is a really good defensive tool. It's unfortunate it costs 3 skill points though, right? And the recovery time from it is not the best either. They could probably punish you if they're really vigilant on it. I don't think his ultimate is unblockable. Nope, it's not unblockable. Okay, now let's talk about Bojack's combo potential, right? So the first thing I like to see in a character's combo potential is looking at their quote-unquote XY attack. So look at my inputs. I do XY, right? Okay, so you see his first attack is a Ki. XXY. Okay, gut punch. XXXY. Okay, rolling hammer. 4 times now. Another gut punch. So it's his pattern is Ki. What was it? The second one? Okay, yes. Ki, gut punch, rolling hammer, and gut punch. The order in which these attacks are is important because it depends on your playstyle. I really don't like Ki being first. With these grappler type of characters, I really like when the first attack is a gut punch. So the pattern in which these heavy attacks happen is pretty important, and every character is different. In order to make your gameplay a little more simplistic, and without needing to practice every single character, maybe choose characters that have a similar pattern to each other. That way you don't have to change it up all the time. Okay, so I don't think his pattern is bad, right? Rolling hammer being the second hit is really good. So let's say, for example, if I'm in front of him, right, and I do open him up. Let's say I open him up with Ki Blast. Boom. Oh, no. Rolling hammer is not the second hit. Gut punch is the second hit. So rolling hammer being the third hit, but the fact that he has a rolling hammer is really good. Most of these in-your-face characters have a rolling hammer, and you can take their back very easily. And that's again what makes these characters very strong. Not only do they have a lot of health, but a lot of them have the rolling hammer and could dish out tons of damage. So I would say his what's it called? What should we coin this? His combo pattern. His heavy attack pattern is decent, right? This Ki is not bad because it's a full 360 attack. So let's say you guys are clashing and then he vanishes behind you, right? If you do a Ki, you will punish that vanish, right? But you can't punish it. It'll hit them and they won't be able to punish you right away. So if you just play defensively, you could avoid it. So having a gut punch on a second attack, not bad. And then a rolling hammer is always good to take someone's back. Now let's check out Bojack's perception attack. Hit me? Yep, gut punch. I love gut punch as a perception attack. The reason being, like I said, with these grappler characters, it's best to set up sparking in their face. How do you do it? If I could manage it, that'd be great. Well, he did a revenge counter. Come on. So he was smart. He knew to use a revenge counter to prevent me setting up my ulti or my sparking. But yeah, this is what I love to do. Just spam Ki Blast now. Cheese out the PC. Cheese out the CPU. Okay, you guys get the point. Okay. Another thing I want to point out in terms of his combos or his melee ability is his step-in attack. So these are the things you should be checking out on a character. Their combo pattern, their perception, and their step-in attack. Their step-in smash attack, right? So of course you could do a regular combo chain. Everyone has the access to the regular combo chain. This is how you do a regular combo. You choose a direction, up, down, or neutral, right? And then you can play rock, paper, scissors with them. If you block low, you'll block their low attack. If you block neutral, you'll block their neutral attack. If you block high, you'll block their high attack. But there's another way to do it. You don't have to extend with just the regular X attack. You can extend with a Y attack. And as you can see, Bojack has a gut punch. And people who have a gut punch as their follow-up Y attack is my favorite, because that's when you could set up a lot of things. That's when you could stagger your combos really well. You can look at my inputs to see how I do the reset now. I'm not gatekeeping it, you know. I just dash backwards and then dash back at them. It's a risky move to do that. If they're good at super countering, it's very risky. So I would recommend using it sparingly. But yeah, that's about it for base Bojack. Overall, he's a good character. He does a lot of damage. His perception is good. His step-in is good. His combo pattern is okay. It's tolerable. I like it. He has a 2 key bar super. Not the best, but it's good if you need to extend your combos and get that little bit of extra damage. He has instant spark, which is great. He has a barrier. He has a unique Ki Blast, which is both strong and weak. Weak because from a distance it'll miss a lot, but very strong because up close it does so much damage. Look at this damage. Look at this damage. Oh my god, imagine you have his back. Off you go. Let's see his ultimate. I like the ultimate. It's not bad. 25k damage off that combo. Okay, so let's transform with Bojack. Transform to full power Bojack. First thing you'll notice when he transforms, he gets a full ki gauge. That is good. So as soon as you transform, if you set up your transformation, let me set it up for you guys. Let me show you an example. All right, so let me show you an example of setting up his transformation and how you could take advantage of the full ki gauge that he gains.
Finish you off right now. Get back here.
Easy super because you have a full ki gauge. Of course, I don't know if the combo I did is a good setup because you're in front of him, but if you have his back and hit him with a gut punch or a low sweep, that is an easy free super right there. But yeah, I like Bojack full power. He's not bad. He still has Psycho Barrier. They took away his instant sparking. He does not have a 2 key bar super anymore, but it's fine. I don't use my supers like that. I don't care for instant sparking, although it would be nice because setting up instant sparking is always nice, you know? He has pump up instead. Okay, so buff attacks aren't the best, right? But how I recommend you use them is you set them up in the middle of a combo. So let's say you hit them with a gut punch. Now you could immediately use the buffs, right? A lot of people, they use buffs out in the middle of nowhere. Like they'll be right here in this distance. They use it, and it's just like, okay, what can you do with it? Okay, he gets a ki blast buff with it, which is good. His ki blast is insane. I'll explain later, but you want to be able to take advantage of your buff immediately. So if you're gonna use buffs, I would recommend using them and setting them up in like when they're stunned, something like this. I messed up that setup. Let me try again. This is why it's important you lab. I took his back. I don't know if that would have been safe, but you can see how the buff is giving me a lot of damage. And the reason why I recommend you do it in their faces, again, because you could use it almost immediately. If you use it out in the middle of nowhere, like in this distance, you're going to be wasting time, and you only have 15 seconds to deal as much damage as you can. And it costs 2 skill points. You do not want to be wasting any of your time when you spent 2 skill points on it. So buffs are not my favorite skills in the game, but they do have their utility, especially if you know how to use them. Now let's talk about Bojack's, full power Bojack's ki blasts. His ki blasts are not bad. But again, his charged ki blast does not help you close the distance, right? It goes very slowly. But you will notice it paralyzes them. So if you're very close to them, you can hit them with a paralysis, and then you can open them up. You can have time to think about what you want to do. Although it's not a very long time. Let's see how long they're paralyzed for. That's a pretty long time. Right? You can, boom, open them up. Right? So his ki blast is very strong up close. He's a very strong up close in your face character. Extremely strong. Okay, let's talk about his combo pattern. 1 attack, PI again. 2 attacks, rolling hammer. 3 attacks. Oops. Gut punch, 4 attacks. Another gut punch. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I would love if gut punch was earlier, because the later let's say you're someone who loves using gut punches, right? And it's later in the combo. That just means there's a higher probability of them super countering you before you could get your gut punch off. That's why I love having gut punch very early in the combo. But at the very least, his rolling hammer is 2 hits in, right? Ki is not my favorite. I'll give his combo pattern maybe like a B+, you know? But he's still not a bad character. He does so much damage up close. His ability to open people up, it's not just one large ki, I think it's multiple. Yeah, I think it's 2 of them. Yeah, so it's a group of ki blasts hitting you. So it's very strong, especially if you manage to go into sparking mode. That's probably why they didn't give him an instant sparking. If he had an instant sparking, he'd be super broken. Okay, let's check out his step and move. Rolling hammer. Not bad, not bad. I prefer a gut punch because it stuns them, but rolling hammer, again, very easy to take someone's back. And rolling hammer has the ability to reset people very easily. Let's check out his perception now. Oh man, I do not like that. A PI for his perception. Simply because of that, now I really don't like Bojack that much. I mean, there is some potential in having the Ki as a perception. It's not bad. Come on, hit me. Yeah, you could do that. There's potential to open them up there and confuse them. It's not the best setup, but you could use it to be aggressive and open them up, but it's really not the best setup. Well, I was doing a fully charged perception. I was fully charging the Ki. Let's see what happens when I don't fully charge it. Maybe I could follow up with a combo. I still prefer a gut punch. I feel like that's not safe. There was a massive gap there. It might be safe, but like if you don't react quick enough to it, you have to be mashing, right? You have to react very quick. And that's why I like gut punch, because you don't have to react very quick. You could stand there and think about what you want to do for a second. But if you don't react very quick to it, to the Ki or the other perceptions, then it's just not going to be good. But that's why I don't like the Ki as a perception. So overall, first, let's look at his ultimate. We got to look at his ultimate.
This will finish you off. Galactic Buster!
What the hell was that? Oh! I've actually never seen it. That was actually pretty nice. I was like, when he threw the Galactic Buster, I was like, why does it only do 6k damage? Was he blocking? And then he finishes it off by, I don't know, doing some ninja move. That was a really nice ultimate. That's satisfying too. If I could manage to land it, I'll try. But yeah, overall, full power Bojack, I don't really like his moveset. I'd give his moveset like maybe a B-. But since his Ki Blast, you know, a lot of these characters, they have a lot of weak points. Characters who have a lot of strong points also have a lot of weak points. So maybe it's a weak point that his Ki Blast moves so slowly, but it paralyzes them and it does so much damage too. So as strong as it is, it's also pretty weak. So it's not bad, right? Bojack does a ton of damage. He's a 7 DP character. He'll run through giants. He'll run through Z Broly. And if you're going to use a 5 DP character, I really recommend using a 5 DP character who could transform into a stronger character, because 5 DP is quite expensive. When you get to 4 and 5 DP, you should use those DP characters who could transform. Because otherwise, you're spending a lot of DP for a character that can't even break. But anyway, I think that's it for the character spotlight. I'm going to be making more of these. I think I said that earlier. So if there's a character you want to see me use and analyze, I could do that for you guys. I'm gonna try to analyze all 181. If you ask me to analyze a specific character, I'll do them sooner. But I think the first few characters I'm going to be analyzing are the people on my main team. Anyway, if you learned something, like and subscribe. Enjoy the analysis video. Okay, so here I am commentating over some gameplay where I had a very tanky jacked team with Bojack at the start.
I guess I'll be your opponent.
I believe I said earlier, which I haven't recorded the rest of the video yet, but I'm going to mention how Bojack probably shouldn't be your point character because he starts with 1 Ki bar, and he will probably lose the first engagement, especially to an android who starts with 3 Ki bars and perpetually gains Ki. So yeah, I just take the L on this first engagement. I only have Bojack on as the first character, because it's just the character spotlight for Bojack, so whatever. But first thing to notice, he went for a low sweep there. That means I should be blocking low. He probably loves going for low sweeps. Okay, raw super. Good idea on him. It'll take a Ki bar away from me, and he gains Ki perpetually, so like, why not? So I don't disagree with that. Usually I disagree with raw supers, but that was a good choice by him. But he is using revenge counters, and you know if you watch my analysis videos, stop using revenge counters as a combo breaker. I want all of you guys to comment, stop using revenge counters as a combo breaker. And he rage quits because of that. If he watched my videos, he would know not to give up your skill points for a revenge counter. And then he wouldn't feel the need to rage quit because he's not wasting his resources.
You would define
okay, another rage quit game. S5 Nezers using Whis. Interesting.
I'd be happy to play with you.
If I see a 10 DP character on point, it's either not scary or very scary. But as you guys probably know, to counter these high DP characters in DP battle is to overwhelm them with lower DP characters. Just keep switching out. If they can't land a real combo on you, they're not going to be able to finish you. Okay, I had Ki advantage there, but still lose the Vanish War. I use revenge counter to keep myself in the engagement. I want you guys to write in the comment section. Revenge counter to keep yourself in the engagement. Revenge counter to avoid a knockback. No revenge countering in the middle of a combo. Revenge countering is not a combo breaker. I want you guys to write that. Class is in session now. I am Professor Wu. PhD in Sparking Zero. The most useful PhD ever. Alright, good. That's a good revenge counter by him. Just know that revenge countering is easily punishable. Oh, he was going for low sweeps as well, so I'm blocking low. If you watch my videos again, you know most of the time you should be blocking low because most of the offensive options are low attacks. And if he hits you with a charged gut punch, that's going to break your guard anyway, so most of the time you should be blocking low. I'd say like 60% of the time. Oh, there it is, a revenge counter as a combo breaker. It's not good.
What could this be?
Okay. Vanish War. He wins it. I use revenge counter to keep in the engagement. I hit him with the low sweep. He should be blocking low like I keep saying. I got him with the block because I'm blocking low unlike him. And he's using Vanishing Assault to try to get out of the combo, which is not going to work. He keeps going for the low sweep even though I'm blocking it. You got to stop going for it if you see you're getting blocked. And because of that, he rage quits. If you knew how to play the game, you wouldn't feel the need to rage quit. Okay, here's a real game now. Going against Alfred G10. Z rank.
Really evil and really strong.
Here I am, Bojack. A lot of people wanted me to play Bojack, so I did exactly that. I think Bojack is actually a really good character. If you're gonna have like a 4 to 6 DP character on your team, they better be able to transform. Because you don't want to waste so much DP on a character that can't transform to a stronger character. Okay, I get the super counter off. I don't have the key advantage. I lose the Vanish War because of that. It's putting me in the blender. We clash here. I get a switch off on him. And this is the annoying part of this team. I am so tanky that whatever damage you do to me, I will render it useless by switching. And I do think they need to nerf the switch mechanic. Make it longer so that we can't switch as often, and also make it recover at most 5,000 health. I think 10,000 is too much. Like, I could overcome something like it because I know how to do the resets and do all the different combos, but most people they can't. It's too difficult to overcome for the average person. And again, I get the switch off. For the average person, the best way to counter this is to ulti spam. Use your Z Broly and spam ultimates on people like this. But also, most of the time, people will not be able to play as defensively as I can. So if someone tries to get this off, a lot of times they probably won't even be able to pull it off. A lot of people are also scared of switching up close. I'm not scared to switch in your face. Alright, so I'm able to notice his combo string pattern. He loves to go for the overheads, so I'm blocking high, and I'm blocking low because he does go for the low sweep. So he can't mix me up because he's being too predictable. You see, he sees I'm blocking high now. Now I saw him go for an uppercut attack, attacking low. I take note of it. I'm probably going to block low next time because I know he's going to start going for the low attacks. I get a switch off. And this is why I say you gotta be aggressive. If he didn't want me to switch, then you gotta approach me. I saw him go for the wild sense, so I was able to counter his wild sense. Good sidestep by him, but we're clashing. Great sidestep again. Yep, went for the overhead, a little predictable. I said earlier I'm probably gonna go for the low block, but then I was able to read it and predict his overhead. So I'm able to block it, get a super counter off here. He has massive key advantage, so I don't challenge the Vanish War. And here's Bojack, the main character of this video. Okay, yeah, you see me blocking low now because I see him going for low attacks, but he still got me with that overhead. I'm trying to transform here. And one thing you'll notice with this is that I gain a full ki gauge. So I could do so much, and his ki blaster is so strong, they paralyze, and multiple come out too. So that really opened him up, and look how much damage Bojack does, and how much health he has. Like, look at this, like, he has so much armor. For a 7 DP character, he is so tanky. Look how much damage I'm doing to him. Trunks has barely been out, and he's almost dead. Bojack's combos kind of look funny, but they're satisfying, I don't know. And also, the slower your character attacks, the harder it is to super counter him, right? Because, like, if you think of, like, let's say MUI Goku, for example, or like SS4 Gogeta, they attack so quickly, and one string has 10 total attacks. So if someone's mashing super counter, they have 10 opportunities to do an attack, and since it's so fast, you can just mash the super counter and probably get one off. But with characters who attack slowly and only have 5 attacks in their string, it's difficult to super counter that. So that's another reason why this team is so strong, because everyone on this team, their combo strings are so slow, and they only have 5 attacks. So not only is the rhythm odd for a super counter, but there's a minimal opportunity to get a super counter off. And let's say they get a super counter off, and then you get into a Vanish War. It's fine. We have so much health and defense that you could win engagements and it won't really matter. Again, why they need to nerf the switch mechanic, and that's why they need to nerf some characters. Spopovich has no business having 3 health bars as a 2 DP character. I think maybe 2.5 health bars, but then that means that the other 2 DP characters need to be nerfed health bar wise too. Raccoon, being a 3 DP character, does not need 3.5 health bars. Same with Nappa. Their gimmick could have been their defense. They do not need high defense and high health as a 3 DP character. Maybe it'd be fair if they were 4 DP characters, but that's just too much. But again, if you know how to do combos and combo resets and opening people up, then it's not an issue. But unfortunately, Alfred is struggling. He doesn't use his instant sparking with Bardock. I'm not sure why. I get my buffs off with Spopovich because I see I have a ton of skill points, so why not? And the buffs also give him extra defense. And that's another thing about this team. Raccoon has false courage. Master Roshi has false courage. That's only more super armor and more health that I'm saving. Use a revenge counter to keep him close. And revenge counter isn't always unsafe. Sometimes you could get a sonic sway off, or sometimes the opponent won't even challenge your revenge counter. Blocking low. Revenge counter in the middle of a combo again. That one wasn't that bad because it's a desperation revenge counter, and had he got a close range switch off, yep, there it is. So that revenge counter kind of saved him. So I don't blame people for doing a revenge counter as a combo breaker when they get desperate, because sometimes it could save them.
I'm getting bored now, so I'm just gonna end this.
That was GG to Alfred. I don't think he takes the rematch, unfortunately. Yeah, he doesn't take the rematch. I don't show it, but like whatever. Gotta save recording footage. Okay, so here's Nova with a heart. He is rank S1, rather high rank.
I'm impressed.
I am not as scared as I am against Z ranks. S1 and S2, sometimes even S3 players are a lot better than Z rankers, because a lot of them are not scared to run the sets, right? And then they'll take their losses. They don't care. If they're not a rage quitter and they run the sets, it's hard to get to Z rank if you're one of those kinds of people. So I've come across a lot of people who are hard stuck S1 simply because they're not afraid of running the sets against people who are better than them, and thus they'll take a few losses, but because of that they become better players. And then when they do win their games, they probably come across rage quitters, so they're hard stuck S1 because of that. But here I am, putting his Spopovich in the blender. Bojack does so much damage. He's playing Gohan. I've been seeing so many Gohan players. I think it's because of me. I think that after this video, I better see this team composition here. the tanky jacked team. It's gonna be so toxic. It's gonna be so bad. But then maybe if you guys are able to create an uproar, Bandai would change these things. I think Bandai is already on the process of. I think they already know because the tournament that they're hosting is a 600 second time limit. It's 10 minutes. So that is something. I don't think making the games 10 minutes is a good idea. I think you should just nerf the switch mechanic and nerf how much health characters gain. But I guess I guess they're lazy, you know, because just changing the time limit to 600 seconds is easier than nerfing mechanics. I've run experiments with my friends, right? I told my friend who's like a rank A1, I set the time limit to 600 seconds and I said, I'm barely gonna hit you. I want you to try to open me up. And I played defensively the whole game and I was able to time him out from 600 seconds. So there needs to be some nerfs done. For sure. But then again, I'm also a much more, I have no life compared to my friends, so my defensive skills were able to keep me alive. So I'm not sure if it's the characters that kept me alive or if it was my skills. It's a mix of both. But either way, it's for the casual player, it's best that if you don't have so much health regen. Because nobody who has a life is able to do combos that are over 10,000 damage. They do not want to learn the game that deeply. Okay, Vanish War. I'll lose because I don't have key advantage, as usual. I'll lose a lot of my Vanish Wars because I'm a very aggressive player. He is using Gohan's full power charge, and he gets greedy there. He thinks I'm going to let him charge into sparking mode. He probably did that to try to bait me to be aggressive, which is a smart move. If you have massive key advantage over someone, might as well try to bait them to be aggressive and then force them into a Vanish War, like here. But, unfortunately, he does not seem polished in his Vanish War gameplay. Here's Master Roshi. I come in, activate False Courage, give me extra defense so I don't take as much damage, and also give me some super armor. Switch back in Bojack. He's the main character of this whole video. I can't have him sit in the back seat for too long. Hit him with a little gut punch, full power. This is how I like to set up my instant sparking. Gut punch and then use my instant sparking. And you can see I'm not scared to combo them. Right? So many people in instant sparking do not want to take advantage of just being able to combo someone. A lot of people, they start panicking when you go instant sparking, and then they just let you open them up. And if they put you in a Vanish War through a super counter, you're in sparking mode. You're going to win that. Who cares if you don't get your ultimate off? Like, I didn't get my ultimate off there. I do not care. It's fine. Able to get behind him through a Vanish. He switches his character, uses the switch to help him follow up in the Vanish chain. In the knockback chain, I should say. I'm not sure the specific terms. I get my switch off. I bring back Bojack because, again, Bojack is the main character of this video. Gotta use him more often. Bojack's damaged stance confuses me. It looks like he's stunned. Because the way he holds his chest. Which is accurate to the movie, but like it does confuse me. It looks like he's like stunned. But again, Bojack, when you transform, he gets a full key gauge. So I tried to take that opportunity to charge up to max power. He doesn't let me do it. I'm able to open him up through forcing him to play an aggressive play. Here I am using a super for once, because I finally have a full key gauge. That's a sick super, I love that. I use Pump Up. Pump Up isn't the best, but it does give you extra damage and extra damage on your Ki Blasts as well. So with Bojack, someone who is an in-your-face type of character, that's a pretty good buff if you could capitalize off of it. I used it, spent 2 skill points, and didn't even hit him. So it was useless. Best time to use buffs is when you stun them. You know? That way you could immediately start using the extra damage instead of using it out of nowhere and then you're not even sure if you could get a combo off on them. So if you hit them with a gut punch, use your buff, and then that's when you could start comboing them right away. I don't think I do that at all in the video. But there it is again. Revenge counter as a combo breaker. Not a good move. Able to finish his Gohan because of it. I'd rather just mash super counter and pray for a super counter than use revenge counter.
Over here.
Good gut punch into super by him.
Over here.
Good super counter. I follow up. Hit him with a dive kick. Able to set him up from here. Yep. If you knock someone back, you should always do that dive kick. It becomes very easy to set them up. And you don't even have to do the whole chain. Half the time I don't even do the whole chain.
Very upset.
It's because it becomes very easy to vanish, especially in the higher ranks. I go instant sparking. I'm getting better at taking advantage of my instant sparking nowadays, because I've been playing a lot more singles, and singles gameplay you need to use your instant sparking. I don't think this hits because I hit him with a gut punch and he's in front of me. Yeah, he's able to block it. If you want to set up that that ultimate, you gotta do a low sweep or something, or be behind him.
Don't mess with me. Take this.
I thought I could dash away from it, but it comes out so quickly I wasn't able to.
You can't handle.
I don't really like Bojack's barrier because it costs 3 skill points. I wish it costed only 2, but the barrier is strong. I'm not sure if it will be able to, if it comes out fast enough to avoid Broly's ultimate.
Lived a little longer.
But those stronger barriers like the Android barrier, Bojack's barrier, the Tapion's barrier, those barriers could stop ultimates. So if you're tired of getting ulti spammed, you could use those characters and save their skill points in the case of them using a raw ultimate. And if you don't think you could vanish it, just use that barrier. It'll save you. Okay, he goes for the rematch. He's a real one. He's gonna run the sets with me. I play it slow because Bojack only has 1 key bar. If you have a lot of character knowledge, right, and you know who spawns in with 1 key bar, and your opponent is using a character with 1 key bar on point, you could just be aggressive and probably win the first engagement and gain momentum from there. Like, starting with 1 key bar is a very massive disadvantage. Or you could do the opposite, you know, where you choose a character that starts with like more than 3 key bars, and then you could gain the advantage over most of the cast who has only 2 key bars. I believe Android 19, he spawns with 4 key bars, so he's a very oppressive android. I think most of the androids are really good on point. On point as in like the first character on your team, the one that you start with. Goes for a super, wastes his key. I'm able to dodge it pretty easily. Okay, his combos are a little sloppy now. I think he's panicking. I'm not sure why he dashed up there. Maybe he's doing that to try to set up a key charge. I use a revenge counter to keep myself in the engagement. I don't want him setting anything up. The reason why I thought he was setting something up is because he's dashing upward. Usually people do that to set something up. And it's a good idea to do that because they lose visibility of you. So they can't really see what you're doing. They have to pay attention to the HUD. Vanish War, I lose it. The usual. I don't have the key. I vanish the dive kick. He has false courage on. I'm able to stun him through a combo string by vanishing behind him and just finishing my combo string while he swings at nothing. I use a revenge counter to prevent getting knocked back, but then he uses perception to counter my revenge counter and continues to knock me back. So if you really want to knock someone back, you could spend the 2 skill points of yourself for yourself and then knock someone back. I was able to vanish that super, which is again why I don't really use supers, because a lot of them are easily vanishable and a waste of key. I get the switch off. Have to be more aggressive than that if you don't want me to switch. Dude, Roshi just grabbing nothing, man. I get frustrated with that and decide, I do not like playing Buff Roshi. Buff Roshi is not a good character, in my opinion. He is way too clunky. The way he descends and stuff. Because he can't fly, he slowly descends, and that gives the opponent high ground, and that can mess with the camera angle. I really do not like playing with Buff Roshi. And Buff Roshi is like one of the few characters that whenever I try to dash, like do a Z-burst dash at him, he ends up doing a grab animation like 30% of the time. It's very annoying. I don't think he transforms the Z Broly one time throughout the sets. It's like, I don't understand why not. He could have transformed there. He's probably scared to transform because it'll reset his switch gauge and he doesn't want to lose a character. Because he's so close to being able to switch and he's already almost at like very low health. And now I transform to Bojack, who would hard counter Legendary Broly because he's a 7 DP character. He does a revenge counter in the middle of a combo again. Again, it's not a combo breaker. Do not use it as a combo breaker. Only in desperate situations is it good as a combo breaker. Not even good, but like it's a desperation move. Desperation moves are never good. Don't be put in a desperate situation. Again, I'm gonna need you guys to write another time. Revenge countering is not a combo breaker. Revenge countering is a stay here tool. Prevent yourself from getting knocked back tool. It is not a combo breaker. Every time someone does it, it's going to be punishing my audience because I'm going to be telling you guys to write it in the comments. Revenge countering is not a combo breaker. I mean, technically getting knocked back is part of getting comboed, so I guess it's a combo breaker. It's a very specific type of combo breaker, let's put it that way. But you guys know what I'm talking about. It's not a regular combo breaker, so don't treat it as such. Like, fun fact, I could have revenge countered that grab and prevent him from knocking me back and prevent him from setting anything up. So I still need to work on the times I could use a revenge counter. Right now, I'm just used to using it during a Vanish War. But there are so many opportunities to use a revenge counter to prevent them from setting something up. Does a raw super? I do not agree with it. Easy dodge, waste of ki for him. Should have been an easy punish for me. I don't get the punish off, he gets a super perception, but I'm still able to follow up after his super perception. One thing to notice is that he doesn't do anything when he gets a super perception off, when in reality we're both at neutral. We're neutral frames, right? Both of us could attack and we'll attack at the same time, we'll clash. So if you're ready for that clash, you could vanish behind him or use a Y attack. You see how many times I'm using a revenge counter to prevent him from knocking me back, right? I'll take the risk of being punished, so he stays in the engagement. I do not want him to switch out. Yep. He uses a revenge counter and that causes the death of Videl. Or not. The near death of Videl. And that costed him 4 skill points. Like, that's just crazy. That's too much. That's so many resources that you're wasting. I get that was out of desperation, so like maybe it was worth saving Videl for those 4 skill points, but when your characters are at full health, yeah, revenge countering is not the move. You gotta just mash it. I'd rather you guys mash super counter. Just mash it mindlessly. That is better than using a revenge counter. He has pump up. I just use it because why not? I have full skill gauge, so might as well. You don't want your character to be full skill gauge for too long, because if you're just sitting at a full skill gauge, that's opportunity you could have been building more skill points, right? So look at me. I used pump up, spent 2 skill gauge. At least it's 2 skill points. At least it's something. And now I'm back at full skill points. I should work on using pump up again. Might as well. But time is up anyway.
You had submitted to me. Maybe you might have lived a little longer.
And Bojack's a freak. He wants people to submit to him. Bojack's a jackass too. In the movie, he kills all his servants.
No one
For no
will be
reason.
able to stop me now! You want to fight me? I'm impressed.
Let's see. This is the third game, third match. Let's see if he adapts to my playstyle. One thing I've noticed about his playstyle is that he plays very defensively. He does not take advantage of the opportunities of when we're both neutral, and he doesn't take the clashes. So you'll notice when he goes for a super perception, he backs off. He lets me attack him. When in reality, both of us could attack, and you have to face that clash head on. He gets a switch off. That's a good switch. I get my own switch off. Because you're tripping if you think, I'm going to let you get some health regen without my own health regen. Vanish those. Yep. There comes a point where you should notice your opponent's skill level and stop doing certain things. Right? If you notice your opponent is vanishing almost all your supers, you should be very cognizant of when you should use those. You do not want to waste ki and waste an opportunity to open me up. He could have knocked me back and Z-burst dash behind me and take my back, but instead he used the opportunity to throw a super at me, and it did not pay off. He uses false courage. That was a great sidestep. And instead of taking the combo opportunity, that would have been a free combo opportunity for him because he had my back. Unless I get a super counter off, that's a free combo for him. But instead he goes for a grab that I deflect. It pays off in the end because he does get a grab off and he does get a super off that I do not vanish. And he's damaged me a good amount. Yeah, he's going for grabs now. I guess his adaptation to my gameplay is to just go for grabs because I am spamming perception a lot. The best way to get around perception spamming is to do a sidestep. Spam sidesteps. But also, you can't just mindlessly spam sidesteps. You gotta sidestep and see when you have their back and then take advantage of it while they're holding perception. I lose that Vanish battle. He brings back Broly. He brings his Broly, I bring my Bojack. Good sidestep. You guys didn't really see it, but then he sidestepped me and dodged me. Yep, I do my setup. I gut punch him and then use full power. He transforms to just Super Saiyan Broly. It seems like he doesn't want to use Legendary Broly. Or maybe I'm just not giving him the opportunity to, or giving him the confidence to bring out Legendary Broly. I'm not sure. He does not go Legendary Broly throughout any of these sets. I vanished those. Yeah, I knew he was gonna go for a grab. So I'm able to raw ultimate him. It's a risk, but then I see he's going for multiple grabs, so I'm like, okay, I bet you he's gonna go for a grab here and hit him with a raw ultimate. And this guy, he's using too many supers, using too many ultimates when he sees I'm vanishing half of them, more than half of them. He should be saving his ki. If you notice, I'm losing so many vanishing battles. So if you just save your ki for those times you win the vanish battles, you could take my back easily with the Z-burst dash. But instead, he's using super. Sometimes they pay off. Sometimes they do. But most times they do not. And it's so much ki. It's 3 ki bars. Transform with Bojack. I get a full ki gauge, so I'm just spamming ki blasts here. But Bojack's ki blasts are not the best long range. Like I said, Bojack is a very in-your-face character. He's using all the power-ups. He should go for a switch here. Oh, that was a good upwards dash to try to open me up. The upwards dash, like I said earlier, messes with your opponent's visibility. So if you do a dash upwards, it would... You could set up a lot of things and maybe even open up your opponent because they won't be able to see what you're doing. And the good thing is that descending upwards or downwards really does not spend a lot of ki. It's very resourceful. Bang for your buck type of movement. And it's only best when you're very up close to the person, because of course when they're far away, they have a wider FOV. They're able to see what you're doing. So if you're like in someone's face and they're just holding perception and you just do a dash upwards, you could really mess them up. Maybe use that opportunity to set something up, use the opportunity to charge some ki, use the opportunity to even Z-burst dash at them and take their back. He gets the switch off. He goes into Gohan. Yeah, he catches me there. He knows that I come out swinging after a super perception. So that's actually a very smart play by him. He knew I was going to come out swinging, so he just uses a super to punish me. And Gohan's super is very good because it only costs 2 ki bars and does so much damage. So that was a very smart move by him. I might start stealing that move. Because after a super perception, a lot of people start spamming ki blasts or just come out swinging. And with Gohan's Masenko, if they block it, the block stun is so long that they don't have time to punish you. So you're safe for the most part. The only time you're unsafe is when they blink it, when they vanish it. But the thing with Gohan is that he has Wild Sense. So if you have Wild Sense active, you could probably throw the raw Masenkos and be safe. Because they won't be able to punish you. Well, they could punish you. If they know you have Wild Sense up, they can punish that. But if you're like a SS2 Gohan or SS1 Gohan, you have Explosive Wave. So you can throw raw supers out if you have 2 skill points and then just use Explosive Wave in the case of them punishing you. Which, again, is why I think Gohan is one of the best characters in the cast. And people are starting to recognize that probably because of my videos. I know. Nah, I'm kidding. Alright, he gets my Bojack. I decide to keep him in because like I already have one of his characters. I think I downed one of his characters earlier, so it's like whatever, you can take one of my characters. This whole video was supposed to be a spotlight on Bojack, so I tried my best to use him as often as I can. But hey, switching him in and out is a good show of his synergy with this team. Don't agree with that raw super, but not a bad idea actually. Actually, I agree with it because he has massive ki advantage on me. If he could force a guard break, he takes away even more ki from me. So sometimes going for the raw dash super is a really good idea because it doesn't cost that much ki, especially if it doesn't land and you just do a guard break. You guys are basically trading ki. So then the next time you guys go into a Vanish War, your opponent will gain less skill points from the Vanish War. Okay. Ends in a time up. This is why I say they need to nerf some things. They need to nerf the switch mechanic, they need to nerf the health regen, and they need to potentially add more time to the game. And I hope they just nerf the switch mechanic and nerf health regen, because I do not want to be playing 10-minute games. Although I enjoy being able to read my opponent, predict his strategy and adapt to his strategy. 10 minutes is too long. I think 6 minutes is enough time. And then if you run the sets, that's a freaking 18-minute whole like game. You do not want to be running sets with 10 minutes on the line. That's a whole 30-minute commitment. But anyway, if you learned something, like and subscribe. Have a good day, you guys.